Hi everyone, it's Rax, bringing you hopefully another very helpful Last Epoch video. This one's going to be a quick one. I keep getting questions from people asking, Rax, what do we do in the end game? You're pushing something called corruption. Why are you pushing it? What is it? Do I need it? Da 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 da. I'm going to show you exactly how all of this works. So after you do the regular monoliths and you get to the end and you run the 390 monoliths, you unlock empowered monoliths, which is kind of where the real end game starts. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running empowered monoliths, and we're going to be completing them over and over and over to build corruption. Corruption is important for a few reasons. First of all, some of the big ticket boss fights and some of the woven echoes just simply require you to build your corruption. So if we go here and we look at the woven echoes, this requires 100 corruption, 300 corruption, 300 corruption. Uber Aberoth cost 500 corruption. To fight regular Aberoth, you need 300 corruption, and you need to slay a bunch of Harbingers. The other reason why you want to do it is if I hide my webcam for a second, right down here, you can see that pushing your corruption is going to make the enemies do more damage and have more health, but it's going to give you item rarity and XP. If you're wondering why everybody's getting better items than you and why everyone's leveling faster than you, it's because they've pushed their corruption. Generally, they say getting to about 300, 500 corruption is really good just for all items in the game. And then they say, I think beyond 1,000, it either stops increasing or the diminishing returns are so extreme beyond 1,000 that it doesn't even matter anymore. So what do you do normally? Normally, you'd walk through and you'd fight all these echoes. Your stability would go across the bar. And when it's full, you would fight a boss. When you fight a boss, you're going to get a couple gaze of Oribus. When you get to the very end, you will fight an Oribus, and it will increase the corruption, and you go again. And then there's catch-up mechanics for the different monoliths. So that would just increase Spirit of Fire. But if I went to a different one that's much lower, let's say the Age of Winter, if I keep pushing Spirits of Fire, when I clear the Oribus over here, there's a catch-up mechanic that will make it fly up. So the first thing to understand is usually if you're trying to push corruption, it is way better to stick in one timeline, push it way up, and then go to another timeline. One thing I want to mention is if you accidentally push it too high and you can't play anymore, right at the very beginning, there's always this echo where you can complete it and it cleanses the timeline, and some or all of its corruption is lost to bring it down in case it's too far. So what you probably really came here for is not for me to explain to you the basics of the game, it's what are the tricks, and there's always tricks in Last Epoch. So the first thing you want to do is in any timeline, run an echo. I already ran one for Spirits of Fire. So what we would like to do is we would like to fight the boss immediately. We can do this very easily. All you need are some garbage items that you don't care about. Maybe it's an Exalt that you found on the ground, or maybe it's 2 items that you bought from a vendor, which I literally just did. So you go into crafting and you throw in any of these garbage items. Then you take any low-level T1 affix and you use the Glyph of Enemy. It's going to destabilize the item, it's going to change it, and more importantly, it's going to give you stability for the most recent monolith that you just ran. So if I just upgrade this, okay, it kept giving me stability, stability, stability every time I clicked it for Spirits of Fire. You could do it again if you want. Here's dodge rating. 186 stability, 163 stability, 189 stability in the Spirits of Fire. Now if I go back in here, look, I'm already ready to fight the boss. Now, how much your corruption is going to go up is going to be based upon how many gaze of Oribus you have when you kill the Shade of Oribus. I call it Oreos. So there is a way to bank up a lot of these quickly so you can push your corruption fast. And that's with these Harbinger needle small idols that drop all the time. I have like 70 of them. They're in a huge abundance. So all you do before you fight the boss is you throw it into your stash. And then you go fight the boss. Keep in mind, I have 7 gazes right now. And it's just going to give you more gazes when you kill them. When you fight a Shade of Oreos, I believe it can only consume 4 at a time. So there is a little bit of limitation on how fast you can do it, but it's still pretty quick to get to whatever you want. And again, beyond 1,000 corruption, you really the diminishing returns there are pretty extreme. So the boss is going to die any second now. The Harbinger is going to spawn. We're going to murder him in 2 seconds. And you're going to see that we're going to get way more gazes of Oribus. Another thing that's very nice about this tactic that I just showed you with that glyph is if you need a very specific drop off of this boss or something, or off of this Harbinger, you can just chain fight them over and over and over. Okay, they're dead. 2 LP Flames of Midnight. That's pretty amazing, actually. Pretty amazing drop. Look, it even gave me another Harbinger's Needle. See, I told you guys these things drop like candy. Okay, so if we go back out and if we look, now we have 12 gazes of Oribus. So what we would do is we just walk to the edge of the timeline, look for an Oreo, and complete it. Instead of wasting your time doing all of that, let's go to one of the other timelines and let me show you the catch-up mechanic. So that one is going to be about 800 corruption. And right here in the Age of Winter, right at the very beginning, we have one of those catch-up things where you fight an Oreo. So you get the 52 for the +4 on the gazes, and you get just +6 corruption for how far away it is from the middle. But I get 397 bonus corruption because it's doing a little bit of catch up from the other timeline over there. Okay, so let's see what this guy can do. Let's see if he can even kill me. I bet he can't. I'm just going to sit here and DPS him. And sayonara. Adios, amigo. No problem. Okay, we grab the loot. And now if we go back to the timeline, it used to be 300 corruption. What is it now? It's 795. This is why pushing one timeline very far ahead and then just jumping to the other ones is very strong. So you might ask yourself, well, how do you pick which timeline to push? One of the smartest things you can do is if you look on your Maxroll guide, look and see if there's like a rare item that's a boss only or a Harbinger only drop. For example, I believe the Flames of Midnight for me only drops in the Spirits of Fire. That's why I kept doing that timeline. Another thing to understand, I don't believe I have the Woven Echo. I believe it's right here. But there's a Woven Echo where you can run it on your alts when they're starting to get really strong. It will like match the corruption of whatever character on your account has like the highest corruption. So just throw it super, super high. That way you don't have to grind all the way 1 to 1,000 again. So that's very nice for your alts. Again, if you use that Woven Echo, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, this is way too hard. Remember at the beginning, you can always lower it right here. It's right at the very start of the timeline. And I think that's about it. So make sure to put your idol back. So that's why you push corruption. It unlocks Woven Echoes, it unlocks bosses, it gives you more item rarity, it gives you more XP. You kill the bosses, you get the Shade of Oreos, you throw the thing in your idol slot to get more gazes of Oreos. Go to the edge of your timeline, kill the Oreo to raise the corruption, push one timeline, and then use the catch-up mechanics to raise all of them very quickly. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I'll answer them. Hope you have an amazing day. Last Epoch, fun game. Thank you.